friends, are you getting ready for cold and flu season and you want to know the very best herbs to keep on hand to get through your sickness quickly and efficiently when you do get sick? Stay tuned. Today we're going to talk about the top 5 antiviral and antibacterial herbs to always keep on hand. And if you stay to the very end, I'm also going to show you how to mix up 4 of them into a nice delicious tea that you can enjoy during cold and flu season or during any time of year. Hello, my name is Amanda and I'm from the Wild Herbal, and the first herb that we're going to talk about today is elderberries. In the USA, we use pretty much just the berries, but in Europe they use elderflower as well as elderberry, and they both have their different benefits. So if you have access to elderflower as well as elderberry, it's nice to be able to combine them because they both have different properties that make them useful to fighting viruses. Elderberries in general inhibit the growth of bacteria and boost your immune system at the same time. So it's a dual purpose herb and it tastes really yummy too. So it's a really nice one to add to a tea that kids really like. Elderberries have also been shown to increase your immunity and speed up healing. If you start at the very onset of your sickness, it is proven to reduce your sickness by half at least. So this last couple weeks, we've been sick with some type of flu, and I started giving my kids elderberry tincture as well as our antibiotic tincture as soon as they started complaining and having a little bit of congestion, and they were sick for a day and a half. For my younger kids, it was a little bit longer. It was about 3 or 4 days for them to kick the virus, but their immune systems are very immature before the age of 7, so I kind of expect that. But I also got sick, and in a day and a half, I was completely well. So it definitely helps just to shorten the duration. I have friends and family that don't use elderberry, and they were sick for an entire week. So this is definitely an herb to keep on hand, not only just for its antibacterial properties, but just to make your sickness a lot shorter. The second herb that we use is garlic. So we do pickled garlic at our house and we really enjoy it. My kids will eat this just like candy. You can also make garlic and honey, and that's really awesome too. I enjoy garlic with honey, but my kids don't like it at all. I know some people like to take capsules and that's better, but garlic has been shown to be more effective whenever you take it raw or slightly cooked. It's not really been shown effective when it's already been dried. So the capsules are not going to be quite as effective as something that's raw. The way that we really like to do garlic a lot is we do a lot of sautés in our house with veggies, and I will take some oil and I will saute it just a little bit. When you're using your fresh garlic, you want to take your garlic clove and you want to actually smash it, because whenever you're crushing the garlic, you are releasing the allicin in it, which is one of the properties of garlic that helps you to get well and helps your body to fight infections. So you're actually gonna take it, when you take the peel off, you're gonna crush it and you'll leave it alone for 2 to 3 minutes to allow the allicin to come out of the garlic. That is one of the best ways to use garlic. So after you peel it and you crush it, then you can mince it and then throw it in your food. And you don't want to heat it for very long. The highest you want to heat it to is 140 degrees. So it may be better, depending on how you're sauteing your vegetables, to maybe throw it in at the end instead of at the beginning. And it is going to be a little bit more pungent in your food, but that's going to get the most benefits for health when it comes to keeping you well. And it is something that we use at our house several times a day. We like to keep garlic on hand. And you can make a garlic tea. I know in Europe, my husband, they do onion and garlic tea, and if that's a flavor that you enjoy, then more power to you. We have tried it in our kids, and my kids don't like the onion and garlic at all when it comes to tea, but they love it in their food, and they're good with pickled garlic. So whatever way you prefer to get the most garlic in, just not capsules. The third herb that we're gonna add in today is echinacea. Now there are 2 different types of echinacea, Echinacea purpurea and Echinacea augustifolia. They're both good, and you can use either one for antibacterial purposes. And echinacea is a really cool herb that actually, as soon as you take it, it's called an immunomodulator. It tricks your body into throwing your immune system into action. So sometimes if you take echinacea, it can spike a fever. A fever is a signal to you that your immune system is ramping up and it is in high gear. And we can talk about fevers in another video. It's really important not to actually bring a fever down, but to allow a fever to do its work. Because if a fever, your body producing all of that heat from a fever is actually helping your body to activate its T helper cells and to get your immune system into action. Your body gets really accustomed to echinacea, and in order for it to work best, you take 6 days, take the 7th day off, take it again 6 days, 7th day off. So if you pick a day like Sunday that maybe you're just not going to take any supplements at all, that's helpful just so you know how frequently you're taking it and that your body doesn't get used to it. The 4th herb that you really want to keep on hand is Mullen. Now, Mullen is a really interesting herb that we talked about in my congestion video, which you can, if you're looking for a congestion tincture to make for your family to clear a lot of phlegm, you can click this one up here and I'll teach you how to make a tincture that is specific for your lungs. But it is also a really good anti-inflammatory herb to keep on hand and to add into teas because it does help your lungs to stay healthy. And it also is an immune herb that fights against gram-positive and negative bacteria. And it also fights against funguses. So it is a really good piece of the puzzle and one that I really like to throw into our teas during this time of year, because I feel like a lot of the cold and flus that you get in the fall and even sometimes spring always have to do with a lot of congestion. So I feel like it's a really good immune herb to keep on hand at all times. And the 5th herb that is called Yaro. And Yaro is something actually that grows wild most places in the United States as well as Europe, in different parts of the world. And it is a really pretty herb, but it is one that makes you sweat. And I know some people may not necessarily enjoy sweating, but again, just like fevers and illness, it is really good for your body whenever you're sick to start sweating, because your body is actually able to get their toxins out through sweating. So whenever you take Yaro, your body is increasing your immunity and it's helping you to sweat out those toxins to help you to get better quickly. And it also does a host of other things. I love to use Yaro also in a wound spray because it really helps to bring circulation and healing to a wound quickly, and it stops bleeding. So I really enjoy that aspect of Yaro too. But just for immunity purposes, I use Yaro in my teas if I want to help my kids to sweat their toxins out really quickly. And I also use it in an herbal bath. And if you're interested in learning how to make an herbal bath, you can click this other card up here and I'll teach you how to make an herbal bath. But it is something we use in our house all the time. Sometimes people call them detox baths. This herb is one that I use almost solely in our baths, is Yaro, because it is a very stimulating immuno herb and really helps to get those toxins out quickly. Okay, so those are my top 5 herbs that I always want to keep on hand coming into cold and flu season. And as a recap, that is elderberry, garlic, echinacea, mullen, and Yaro. Now, since you stayed to the end, I'm going to show you a little bit of how to make that into a really delicious tea that you can make for your family. But if you're not interested in making your own tea, like as you can see, we have a lot of dried herbs around here. So we make a lot of tea and we like crafting our own teas. But if you're not interested in that and you want something you can just grab from the store and pick up, it is important that you do loose leaf tea as much as possible, or that you at least look what your tea bags are made out of, because a lot of tea bags are bleached and have a lot of chemicals in them, which you don't really want to be ingesting. The second thing about tea is that you want to make sure that your tea is organic, because tea is the 2nd highest crop in the world that is sprayed. You do not want to be ingesting tea that is not organic. So we're not doing Lipton here. We want to try high quality teas that you're going to be ingesting. The tea becomes not quite as healing because now your body has to deal with a lot of other stuff that you're giving it. So I really like Mountain Rose Herbs, and I buy a lot of my herbs from them. And I love these tea combinations that they have. And in a pinch, if I don't have time to make my own tea, I love to be able to grab these ones or even make my own and store in there, because they're really nice storage containers to like throw in the car to keep on hand at times. But this one has raspberry, nettle, and those are also really good in this tea blends because those provide a lot of the minerals and a lot of the vitamins and minerals that your body needs to get well. And it also has lemon balm, which helps your nervous system and to settle down. Has the elderberries, echinacea, elderflowers, rose hips, which is really high in vitamin C and another really good herb. and then Oregon grapefruit, which works well as an antibacterial and antifungal herb too. So this is a really nice one to keep on hand if you don't want to make your own. Another tea bag that we really like is traditional medicinals, and you can find most of them at Walmart and different places. Also yogi tea, I believe, is another one that their tea bags are not sprayed and they use organic herbs. So if you don't want to make your own tea, Mountain Rhizomes or Yogi or traditional medicinals are good brands of tea that you can just grab at the store to have on hand for those times when you get sick and maybe don't even have the energy to craft your own tea. But now let's go ahead and make that cup of tea. So we have our herbs ready. We have our elderberry and we have a little basket for our tea. And this is my teapot, and this basket is really nice because it actually goes just straight in there. So I don't actually have to worry about straining any herbs out or using an extra part. This makes 32 ounces of tea. I am going to add 2 tablespoons of elderberry, about half a tablespoon of echinacea, and if you notice that my mullen is actually just like fresh mullen leaves that I picked, we are just going to use about half of a leaf for this. So probably about another half of a teaspoon. It doesn't have to be specific. And then for Yaro, I'm going to add another half of a teaspoon of Yaro. And then I put my lid on. And for herbs, I really like this teapot because you can actually do the different temperatures. But for herbs, we're going to do on the green tea setting, which is around 175. So we're going to go ahead and let that boil. So it's best if you have a little bit of raw honey. I'm just going to put a little bit of raw honey. It is always best to use honey because it also has antibacterial and antiviral properties as well. But not only that, whenever you use sugar, sugar increases the inflammation in your body, and it kind of defeats your purpose in helping your body fight illness. So if you can avoid the sugar, it's better to either do honey or not have any sweetener at all. Okay, so as soon as it comes to temperature, I let it set for about 5 to 10 minutes. You can also let it set longer than that. The longer it sets, the stronger it gets. So if you can let it set for 30 minutes, that's awesome. But now I've already let it set for about 10 minutes. So we are just gonna pour this in our glass and stir our honey in. So your tea is gonna be hot. Sip tea to your health. So if you are interested in a written copy of this recipe, so you can subscribe to my newsletter below and you can get a printable recipe card of this tea recipe, as well as the different videos that I've done before and different printable recipes for my tinctures. I send out 1 email newsletter a week or every other week, depending on when my videos come out, to give you a link to the latest video, printable cards, and some other things and resources that you might find interesting in your healing journey. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day and stay well. Goodbye, friends.